demo covers how to set up a second MID server on a 64-bit Windows machine that's already running one MID server connecting to the same ServiceNow instance. After setting up the additional MID server, we'll assign our two MID servers capabilities and cluster them for load balancing. It's assumed that you already know how to set up and start a MID server, so some sequences in this demo are sped up. For detailed steps, see the How to Set Up a MID Server video. Best practice for setting up multiple MID servers on the same host is to keep production and sub-production MID servers separated on different host machines. Also, to avoid confusion, use easily distinguishable folder names for separate MID servers on the same host. We already have several MID servers on this machine, but we're going to cluster this new one with snc_midserver_prod1. So we'll extract the downloaded agent folder into the MID server folder again and rename it snc_midserver_prod2. The next step is to modify the config XML file in this MID server folder. Avoid copying and pasting the config file from the folder of a previously installed MID server into the new MID server folder, as this could result in a failed MID server setup. When modifying the config XML file for this MID server, make sure its name is different from that of the other MID server. Each must have a unique name so that we can identify them on the ServiceNow instance. We're not using a proxy, so we can skip that section, and the mid_sys_ID will be filled in automatically when this MID server connects to ServiceNow. So we're done with this configuration file. Now we must edit the wrapper override file to provide the wrapper name and display name of the service. Remember that these names must be unique for each MID server service. Finally, we start up this second MID server. Verify that the service started. That its service name and display name are correct and the startup type is automatic. And change the logon credentials to use a specific account. Then we restart the service with the new credentials. And verify that this MID server connected to our ServiceNow instance. If it doesn't show as up, try refreshing the list. Success! Now we're ready to cluster our MID servers. Clustering enables multiple MID servers with the appropriate capabilities to be grouped together for load balancing and failover protection. MID server capabilities define the specific logical functions of a MID server. Before clustering our MID servers, we need to make sure each one has at least one capability. We want to group our MID servers in a cluster for load balancing. So we start by giving each MID server a capability through its Capabilities tab. WMI suits our purpose, so we'll add it. And give our other MID server a capability as well. Now we create a new cluster. For cluster names, develop a standard that meets your organization's needs. A common convention is to name clusters by geographical region. Here's where we specify whether the cluster will be used for load balancing or failover. These are explained in the ServiceNow Wiki. When we submit this, the related list is displayed where we can specify which MID servers to include in the cluster. So we edit the list to include our MID servers. And now we have load balancing between these two MID servers. So any work will be evenly distributed between them. That's how you set up multiple MID servers and cluster them in ServiceNow.